Hi, everyone. I want to talk today about the 6 audition tools method that I teach in Holly Powell Studios audition workshops. The first tool is what I call sense of place. Where are you in the scene? When you walk into the audition room, you usually have a chair and sort of an empty space. And I need you to look around the space and visualize where the scene is taking place. If it's in your office, make sure you see your desk, where the window is, where the door is, where the telephone is, and make sure that you visualize it clearly before you start the scene. If you visualize completely where you are in the space, we're going to see it on the other side of the table. Tool number 2 is relationship. Who are you talking to in the scene and how do you feel about that person? Let's say that you have a scene with your boyfriend. I need you to visualize someone specifically in your life that you have a loving relationship with, and I can see that person. But you're going to be reading with the casting director or a reader. And so you have to visualize that person that's your boyfriend and put that visualization on your reader's face. Relationship is also not only to who you're talking to in the scene, but it's who you're talking about in the scene. So an entire scene can go by where we're talking about someone else. You have to have the visualization of that person that you're talking about because you have a different relationship with that person. Let's say it's my mother in Dallas, my 95-year-old mother from Dallas called me on the phone last night, and I'm telling you about this conversation with my mother. And just by the way I'm talking about her, I'm visualizing what she looks like, and I'm seeing her in my mind's eye as I'm talking to you and telling the story. So make sure that you have your relationships extremely clear. So if you're talking to 2 or 3 different characters in a scene, we can see the difference in the characters you're talking to because of how you feel about that person. Tool number 3, intention. What do you want? What do you want in the scene? Often in my audition workshops, I ask an actor what the intention is in the scene, and often they don't know, or they are very long and convoluted about what they want. Make it simple for yourself. Like, I want this person to like me, or I'm really mad at this person, and so I want to punish them. Be very specific about what your intention is at the top of the scene, but understand that intention changes as you go through the scene. So, for instance, if your intention is that you need to go to the store to get some bread, your intention is to go to the store. Your sense of place is the grocery store. You run into your ex-husband in the aisle, and now what is your intention? Your intention is to get out of there, okay, based on relationship. So you see how this is all fitting together. Your intention changes as the scene goes along. Otherwise, if an intention stays the same throughout the entire scene, you're going to have a one-note audition. Tool number 4, pre-beat the moment before. When an actor starts the audition, remember that you are in the middle of something. You're not at the beginning of a story. You're in the middle of something. So let's say that you have this decides and you don't have a clue as to what happened right before the scene starts. You have to make something up for yourself because you have to be in the middle of something. When I was senior vice president of casting for the Greenblatt Gianellori studio, we had a deal with Alan Ball, and Alan had just won the Oscar for American Beauty, and he told me a story, and I don't know why I remember it, but I remember it to this day. It had an effect on me. He told me about a story when Annette Bening, who was in the film, had to simply get out of her car and walk into her home and open the door where there was this big situation that was going on. So Sam Mendes, the director, turned to Annette right before she walked in the door and said, "What just happened?" And she said, "I just got this blouse back from the dry cleaners and there's a spot on it." Well, that wasn't in the script. That was something that Annette was it was a thought that was going through her head right before she opened the door. So she made something up for herself. So she would be in the middle of a thought, in the middle of something when she walked into the room. And so she didn't anticipate what was going on the other side of the door. So that moment before is extremely important. Actors who are stage actors understand this very well because they're off stage before they enter the stage, and they walk in and they're in the middle of something. They've just left something and they enter the stage right before the scene starts. So please, we can see in your taped audition when you just start a scene or when you're in the middle of something. Tool number 5 is listen. It's pretty simple. Listen. What actors do a lot is that they're thinking about what their next line is going to be and how they're going to say it while the reader is reading their lines. And we see you disconnect and think about what that line's going to be. You have to be present in the moment and listen to the reader or the casting director and really listen and hear what they say and be present, because otherwise we're going to see you disconnect and we're going to see you struggling for those lines in your head. So listen and be present. Tool number 6, respond in the listening. Responding in the listening is 50% of your audition. So if I'm listening to the other character, I'm like, "Mhm." You're listening to what the other person is saying. You're responding in the listening. Lisa Kudrow from Friends is often, if you go back and look at Friends, you can see that they do reaction shots a lot from Lisa because she's so brilliant in respond in the listening. Directors will cut to other people's reactions while another person is talking, and that's how they need to see you listening and responding. They just don't have the camera on the person who's talking. They're looking at the other actors in the scene responding. So make sure that when you're doing your audition tape, you're responding in the listening.